Hi everyone, welcome to the English Workshop. I'm Amy.
And I'm Alex. This is the podcast where we have simple, natural conversations to help you practice your English listening skills.
Today we're talking about something that affects almost everyone, work-life balance. You know, how to manage your job and your personal life so you don't feel stressed all the time.
Right, exactly. It's something I think about every single day. So, Amy, let me start by asking you, do you feel like you have good work-life balance right now?
Oh, wow, that's such a tough question. I think I'm getting better at it, but honestly, some days I feel like I'm doing pretty well, and
Yeah, totally.
other days I realize I've been checking work emails at 10 p.m. while I'm supposed to be relaxing and watching TV. Like, what am I doing?
Oh my gosh, I do that too. It's like this weird habit. You tell yourself you're just going to check quickly, and then suddenly it's midnight and you're still answering messages.
Exactly. And then you can't sleep because your brain is thinking about work stuff.
Right. The sleep thing is huge. I used to be really bad about this. A few years ago, I was working late almost every night, sometimes until 9 or 10 in the morning.
Oh, wow, that sounds exhausting.
It really was. And I thought I was being productive, but actually, I was just making myself tired and stressed. I wasn't spending time with my family, I stopped exercising, I barely saw my friends.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And my sleep was terrible. I would go to bed with my mind racing about work problems, and then I'd wake up in the middle of the night thinking about what I had to do the next day.
That sounds awful. What made you realize you needed to change?
Well, one day my wife said to me, I feel like I never see you anymore, even when you're home. And that really hit me hard because she was right.
Oh, that must have been a wake-up call.
It really was. Even when I was physically at home, my mind was always at work. I was constantly distracted, checking my phone, thinking about projects. I wasn't really present.
Right, that's so common these days.
So I decided to make some serious changes. The first thing I did was set a hard stop time for work. Now I try to finish at 6 p.m. every day, no matter what.
That's great, but how do you actually stick to it? Like, what if you have a big project or a deadline?
Good question. I set an alarm on my phone for 5:30 p.m. That gives me 30 minutes to wrap up whatever I'm working on and close my computer properly. And if there's a real emergency or a super important deadline, I might work a little later, but I try to make that the exception, not the rule.
That makes sense. What about working from home? I feel like that makes work-life balance even harder because your office is literally in your house.
Oh, you're so right about that. When I first started working from home, it was a disaster. I would work in my pajamas, eat lunch at my desk, and never really leave the office.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Now, I have some rules for myself. I get dressed every morning like I'm going to an office. I have a specific workspace, and when I'm done for the day, I close my laptop and leave that room.
That's such good advice. I should try that. I think having physical boundaries really helps create mental boundaries too.
Exactly. What about you? Do you work from home or in an office?
I do a mix. I'm in the office 3 days a week and home 2 days. And honestly, both have their challenges for work-life balance.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, when I'm in the office, I tend to work later because everyone else is there, and there are always meetings and conversations happening. It's hard to just leave at 5 when other people are still working.
Right, there's that social pressure.
Exactly. And then when I'm working from home, like you said, the boundaries get blurry. I'll start work early, work through lunch, and before I know it, it's 8 p.m. and I'm still at my computer.
Yeah, it's like the work just expands to fill all available time.
That's such a good way to put it. It's not even that I'm being more productive. Sometimes I think I actually get less done because I'm not focused.
Totally. I learned that taking real breaks actually makes me more productive. Now I take a proper lunch break every day, even when I'm working from home.
What do you do during your lunch break?
I try to get outside if the weather's nice. Sometimes I go for a short walk, or I'll sit in my backyard and just eat lunch without looking at my phone or computer.
That sounds so peaceful.
It really is. It's amazing how much clearer my mind feels when I come back to work. I can focus better and I actually solve problems faster.
I need to be better about that. I usually eat lunch at my desk while I'm still working. But let me ask you something. How has better work-life balance affected your health and relationships?
Oh, wow. It's made such a huge difference. First of all, my sleep is so much better. I have a rule now that I don't check work emails after 7 p.m.
Good for you.
And I actually turn off work notifications on my phone completely after 6, so my brain has time to wind down before bed, and I sleep much more deeply.
That's smart. What about your relationships? You mentioned your wife noticed you were always distracted.
Yeah, that's gotten so much better. Now when I'm home, I'm really home. We cook dinner together, we watch movies without me checking my phone every 5 minutes.
That sounds wonderful.
And I started making plans with friends again. Before, I was always canceling social plans because of work, or I'd show up but be stressed and distracted.
Right. I've definitely been that person who shows up to dinner but spends half the time thinking about work.
It's such a waste. Now I actually enjoy my time off because I'm present for it. What about exercise? Do you find it hard to fit that in with work?
Oh, that's my biggest struggle. I always tell myself I'll exercise after work, but then I get home and I'm exhausted. Do you have any tips for that?
I totally get that. For me, the trick was to exercise before work. I know that sounds terrible, but hear me out.
Okay, I'm listening.
I started waking up just 30 minutes earlier and doing a short workout. Nothing crazy, maybe some stretching or a quick walk or some push-ups and sit-ups. And it actually gives me more energy for the whole day. Plus, I've already done something good for myself before work even starts, so I feel accomplished.
That's such a good point. I always feel better on days when I exercise, but I never think to do it in the morning. Maybe I should try that.
You should. Even 10 or 15 minutes makes a difference. And on weekends, I try to do longer activities, like going for a bike ride or playing tennis.
That sounds fun. What about people who have really demanding jobs, like doctors or teachers, or people who work shift work? Their situation is different, right?
That's such a good question. You're absolutely right that some jobs have different challenges. My sister is a nurse, and she works 12-hour shifts.
Oh, wow, that must be tough.
It really is. But she's taught me that work-life balance doesn't have to be about every single day being perfect. For her, it's more about having good weeks and good months.
Right, looking at the bigger picture.
Exactly. She works 3 days in a row, 12 hours each day, but then she has 4 days off. So she uses those 4 days to really focus on her family, her hobbies, resting.
That makes sense. I think the key is finding what works for your specific situation, right?
Absolutely. There's no one-size-fits-all solution. Some people work better in the early morning, some people are night owls. Some people need lots of social time to recharge. Others need quiet time alone. The important thing is to be honest with yourself about what you need to feel happy and healthy, and then try to create that in your life.
That's great advice. So before we wrap up, let's give our listeners some practical tips they can try right away. What would you say is the most important first step?
I'd say start with just one boundary. Pick one thing. Maybe it's not checking emails after a certain time, or taking a real lunch break, or finishing work at a specific time.
Good advice. I love that. And I would add, don't feel guilty about taking care of yourself. You're not being lazy or selfish when you set boundaries around work.
Yes. Actually, when you take care of yourself, you do better work. You're more creative, more focused, and you make fewer mistakes.
Exactly. And remember, work-life balance isn't perfect every single day. Some weeks will be busier than others, and that's okay.
Right. The goal isn't perfection, it's having a life that feels good most of the time, where you have energy for the people and activities that matter to you.
That's such a beautiful way to think about it.
Well, that's all for today's episode of the English Workshop. Thank you so much for listening to us talk about work-life balance. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. It really helps other English learners find us.
And we'd love to hear from you. What are your biggest challenges with work-life balance? You can leave us a comment and let us know.
Until next time, take care of yourselves and remember to find some balance in your day. Bye, everyone.
Bye for now.